Now, broadening the conversation out to the vaccine dynamic more broadly, as leading vaccine candidates release trial data, the next major challenge is worldwide distribution. Our next guest, Prashant Yadav, professor of technology and operations management at INSEAD, says building global supply chains capable of storing vaccines at their required temperatures will require extraordinary levels of coordination. I'm very pleased to have you on the program. When we talk about some of the challenges with distributing these vaccines, the main issue that comes to mind is Pfizer's vaccine and the fact that this vaccine needs to be stored at minus 70 degrees Celsius, which is incredibly cold. Help us understand what it will actually entail to get this vaccine from the manufacturing plant to their final destination at hospitals, clinics, and other medical facilities.
So our typical vaccine leaves the factory gate of a manufacturer, gets stored at one or two distribution points where there is cold storage, then gets distributed onward till it reaches the final point of vaccination. Now, given the ultra cold chain requirements that the Pfizer-BioNTech product has, and the lack of such ultra cold chain equipment, it'll have to go much more direct, which means it'll have to be shipped directly from Pfizer's factories to multiple vaccination points and maybe a few points of storage in places where they exist, but mostly very direct, which puts a strain in the system in terms of running a very vast distribution network. And secondly, the strain on the information flow that is required to run such a system becomes much more complex than it is for other kinds of vaccine. Not to say that it's infeasible. I think there are plans in place and it's starting to happen. But one thing we've got to keep in mind is that manufacturing and the development of vaccines is largely a scientific endeavor which happens in a very controlled setting. And even in controlled settings, what we hear from the AstraZeneca results is that there are things that go haywire. So now we are moving to the next phase, which is not such a controlled setting. It is the combination of science, but also social phenomenon. How does one actor transfer the vaccine to another? How do they record that information? How do they adhere to standard operating procedures? And that social science makes it much more trickier.